All right, we are going to get started. So, welcome if you're listening to the recording, of course, live with us. We are going to dive into our CRP call today. This is our last call of September, and then we're going to kind of transition. I'm going to tell you at the end, we're going to be doing something really exciting for the final quarter of the year here in Corporate Rescue Plan. It's going to be kind of this 90-day boot camp to help you build your business and create multiple streams of revenue into your business over the last quarter of the year. So you're already a CRP member, so you're going to get access to it. And I'm excited to tell you guys more about that at the end of today. So today we are finishing up this quarter with a training on how to scale smart, how to create funnels, how to set up your email list, and how to make sales evergreen. And I'm going to kind of explain what that means today. You might not know what evergreen sales mean, but if you want to have a business that gives you more time freedom and flexibility, where you can we have another member on the call who has a little baby, and these are the things that I put into place in my business when I had babies too, because I needed time and I needed flexibility and I needed sales to happen automatically, and I couldn't be on a call all the time. And so that's why I put all this into place in my business. And I'm going to share with you guys how you can do it in your business too. And like I said, create more of that time freedom and flexibility. So if you have any questions as we go, feel free to post them in the chat, or of course you can use Slack and you can post your questions in Slack at any time as well too. Hopefully you're already on Slack. If you're not, make sure you get on Slack. So we have our own little section in Corporate Rescue Plan Fall 2025. That's where I post announcements. That's where you can ask questions. You also have a section on wins and goals. So we can celebrate you as you're going through, whether it's a big win, small win, whatever it is. Maybe it's a takeaway from the call today. Feel free to post that in our Slack channel so we can celebrate you. Okay, so today we're going to walk away from this call where you're going to be able to know how to build those simple systems that sell for you even while you're sleeping. And so a lot of us are able to run international businesses where we have clients around the world, and we are able to, sell to people who are in very different time zones than us. So we can sell when we're sleeping, or we can sell maybe while you're at your day job. That's where my first order came in when I made a sale while I was at my day job, and that was very exciting. And so we're going to talk about how to scale your business smartly using simple sales funnels, email marketing, and evergreen offers. And if you've ever really felt like you have to post all day on Instagram or constantly be on live calls to make money, then this call is for you, especially, service-based business, a coach, consultant, especially if you like to teach or train or create courses or anything like that. We're going to map out strategies that will give you freedom, scalability, and consistent income without burning out. So this is a very good introduction call to our Magic Income Streams Bootcamp starting October 1st. So you guys are going to be all ready for that. The big thing that you're going to want to put in place in your business right now is you're going to want to put in your business systems. So systems are going to make it so you don't have to hustle so much, so you don't have to work so hard. And once you implement systems into your business, you're gonna spend some time setting up those systems initially. So it's going to take some time to put all these systems into place so things can happen automatically and you don't have to be selling on live calls all the time, or you don't have to be doing sales calls all the time, or you don't have to be doing live webinars all the time. You can set those things up. You can do them once, and then your audience can access them automatically. So you're not having to do a bunch of live training, live things. And this is one of the best things you can do. I always recommend doing live first. You could do like a live webinar, record it, and then you can send out that replay to your audience, and anyone new who is registering for your email list can continue to watch that webinar replay. And even below that, you can have a link to register maybe for a strategy session with you, or maybe your digital product, your first course. And this all started when I was having my first daughter, and I was realizing this was back in 2014. Yes, she's 11. And I was realizing that I needed to set up systems in my business because my plan was to quit my day job after maternity leave. So I knew that I needed to figure out how to still get clients while I was on maternity leave. And that was my first daughter, so I didn't quite know what to expect in maternity leave. And so I knew that I'd had to before I had her and while I was pregnant in those last months of pregnancy, I knew that I needed to set up some systems in my business and set up kind of this whole framework that I'm talking about today so that I could make sure to continue to gain interested people in my product while I was out on maternity leave. And so, what I set up before I went on maternity leave is I set up this automation. I set up my email list, I set up my application process, I set up a video that people could watch so that they could learn more about my framework, my system. So back in those days, it was called the Get Unstuck system. And so what I had set up before I went on maternity leave is I had an email list, I had a video that they could watch, and I had an application. So after they watched this 25-minute video, and it was all automatically delivered to them, once they watched that, then they could register, they could sign up to apply to speak with me. And then when I was ready to do sales calls a couple months later, then I emailed all those people that applied and I booked up my calendar and I was very busy when I was ready to go back to work. I actually had scheduled social media posts as well beforehand. She was a little late, so I was waiting around for her to come. And so I was scheduling social media posts as well beforehand. So one of my friends saw that I was posting on Facebook while I was in labor. She knew I was in labor, but she was still seeing my Facebook post going out for my business. And she thought I was actually like in labor posting on my Facebook page, but I definitely was not. That was all pre-scheduled. And so that was my shift of just realizing I can't be available those months. And so I needed to set up those systems. I needed to stop the hustle because I knew I was going to be very busy with my newborn and I wanted to quit my day job and work on my business full time after that maternity leave. And I did. I had 6 weeks of maternity leave. And on that final day, I called up HR and told them I'm not coming back and I'm running my business. And a side note, the HR person that I spoke to, I was so nervous for the conversation. And I remember she didn't care. She was like jealous of what I was doing. She's like, "Wow, what are you doing? That's so cool. You have a business." And here I am. I had worked myself up, so nervous about this call and how HR was going to be so upset with me. And like here she was telling me, like, "That's so cool. I wish I could do that." So don't let your fear control, your process of what you decide to do. So let's talk about the three-part framework here. So let me share my screen and we'll kind of walk through this today. And I'm also going to share this in the chat as well too, so you guys can get a copy of this. Like I said, we're going to go deeper on this in our 90-day Magic Income Streams boot camp that we're going to start on October 1st. And so this is kind of the beginning of everything that we're going to be talking about over the next 90 days here in Corporate Rescue Plan. So we have a three-part framework. We have the beginning part is really that we're going to set up a funnel in your business. And this is a step-by-step journey that turns strangers into paying clients. And this is really important because we want this all to happen automatically so we don't have to manually do anything. When someone registers for your email list, we want them to automatically get an email. We don't want to have to email them manually. You can do it once, but do it once and then automate it. And that's kind of our plan here at Classy Career Girl is we work hard to set something up once, but we really like to then automate it and have things running automatically. And it's also really important to keep things very simple as well and not to overcomplicate as well. So when we talk about funnels today, we want to make sure that we're setting up a very simple funnel. A core funnel, like an example of a very simple funnel. So a funnel would be somewhere where you're kind of bringing people through the process to work with you. So they're starting to get, and the main point of a funnel is to build trust and to build that relationship with people as well. So, the first time that you met me online, wherever you saw my content first, you may not have known who I was. It's not like you're going to, immediately opt into my email list or immediately pay me any money and join any program. You're going to need to get to know me a little bit more. And so that's the point of a funnel. And so by the time someone gets on a sales call with you, we want them to be 80 to 90% sold already, right? We want them to already know, like, and trust you. We want them to know that you're the expert. We want them to feel comfortable, talking to you on a sales call, know that it's not going to be a overly salesy, gross call that they're going to be really annoyed with at the end. But they're just really excited to work with you by the time that they get on that call. And so the calls that you have where they've never watched, I don't have any calls with people who've never watched any of my training or videos. So how I've set up my funnel is really every call I have, people are like, I watched your video. I watched your video. They tell me every call I do, people have already gotten wins. They've already watched my training. They've already seen how I teach. They've already kind of gotten an introduction to my products and my offers. They kind of know what's coming. They're asking me for it. So in the case of our career coach certification, by the time someone gets on a call with me, they're like, tell me more. I need to know about this career coach certification. And that's the goal of the funnel is so we're not having sales calls with people who don't even know who we are. We're guiding them through that process and providing them a journey so that they grow in that relationship with you. And then by the time they get on the call, you can really help them and you can really solve their problems and you can really guide them and recommend the best option for them. And so usually it starts with some sort of content where they're coming across maybe a video, maybe a reel, an Instagram post, maybe someone is sharing your content, getting introduced to you. Maybe you're doing a speaking event, maybe you're doing a podcast. They're getting to know you in some way. And they're going to, at that point, you're going to lead them into a free opt-in. So this could be maybe it's a free guide, a free challenge, a free checklist, a free roadmap, a free planner, a free webinar, a free training, a free startup kit, a free template. I think I said that one twice. Something free. We're just going to don't be afraid to give out your best stuff. We give out our 90-day planner, which is something I paid a designer to make that thing look beautiful. That was not easy for us to create. I could charge $50 to $100 probably for that free 90-day planner that we just give out as a digital download. It's a ton of different pages. If you don't have it, make sure you go grab it at classycareergirl.com/free plan. But I want to over deliver. I want to give people something that they love and that's going to really help them. And I want to wow people through that, free opt-in. And I want to help them solve their problem and get started reaching their goals. So we're going to have that free opt-in. Eventually you can have a couple different ones, to promote on maybe on Mondays, you promote another one, Tuesdays, you promote something else. That's kind of how I do it. I have kind of days of the week that I kind of float through my opt-ins and my webinars and my training. So I'm always every day kind of, how can I provide value? How can I help people? How can I, build that relationship with people? And then we're going to move on to the emails. So after we've started to do our email opt-in, we're going to have some automated emails all set and ready to go. So this is where, yes, you're going to have to spend the time to write them once, but then we can put them into an email management system, and then we can have those being sent automatically and quickly and easily and automated. And so you don't have to worry about them not getting the information. And those can continue to build the relationship with you. You can have videos set up. You can have, about information in those emails, and they're nurture emails. So they're just kind of like nurturing people. Maybe they're giving people more value, more tips, more training, a link to a podcast. And eventually then will lead to our offer as well. Whether that's a free strategy session with you, maybe it's a digital product, maybe, something that we have to have a goal of what we're going to lead people into. And that's really an example of how that would work. So you don't need anything fancy to start. You start with like one email freebie, one offer, one path. So an example for us, in December we do our annual planning workshop every year. So I have, and this is the time of year, fall is the time of year that free planner goes bonkers. It goes crazy. Everyone wants our free planner. And so on the other side of that free planner, I have my planning workshop. I have a digital product. We usually start it at like $27 and then we raise it to $47. The early bird's 27, then we go to 47. And then after we do it live, I record it and then we turn it into 4 modules and it becomes like this mini course that we sell the rest of the year for $97. And you guys are CRP members, so you get access. You'll have access to that in December. You have that. You get that every year as well too. You don't need to pay extra for that. So that's an example of a digital product that's all automated that we use that kind of builds the funnel we get. I post planning content on social media, leading to the free planner, getting those opt-ins, and then because you like you like planning, you probably want my annual planning workshop too. So it kind of leads them to that next sale. The other reason you want to have an email list, I've been hearing from a lot of people who don't have email lists yet, and it's definitely something you want to get started with because I know a lot of you guys are busy. So when life gets busy, what you can do is you can be sending an email and you can make a sale. It's as simple it's as simple as that. So there's times like for us, it's July. I don't do any sort of promotion in July. Kids are off school. We're traveling. We're having fun with family. This last summer, we drove to Minnesota and back to Florida in July. So I could not I did a couple calls in between for clients and coaching calls, but I wasn't doing any promotion. But I had automated emails set up so we could be promoting something like a digital product or a membership or something, while I was gone. And so that's why I love having the email list too, is because, there's times during the year that you just can't be on, you can't promote, you need those rest times, you're traveling, you got, things happening. And so even when you have an email list, then you can still be making sales even when your focus is on something else. And I would encourage you, Black Friday is a great time to set this up. Black Friday is a great time to automate this, to practice, getting your email list set up, to get everything ready to be able to promote something as well too. And you have plenty of time right now. I'm recording this in September, end of September, so you have plenty of time to get those emails ready, to get your email list ready, so you can have, a promotion around Black Friday time too, and you can kind of test this out and see how it works. I put the link. I put a link in the document of our Magic Income Streams worksheet. And this is something you can use as a template. You can make a copy of, you can plug your own numbers in. But this is just kind of a sneak peek of what we're going to be covering. If we go to the 3 products tab, what we're going to be covering over the next 90 days in Corporate Rescue Plan, we're going to do our Magic Income Streams Bootcamp over the next 90 days and help you set up these in your business, help you set up these multiple income streams into your business. And so you can come in here, you can change the amounts and kind of figure out where you want to be in 90 days, where you want, if you want a digital product, maybe you want like a group program or you want a membership site, or maybe you want to really focus on your one-on-one coaching. There's plenty of time in those 90 days to be able to set up at least one of these offers, if not 2, even 3. I've seen people put all 3 offers in place in a 90-day period. And that's really what kind of the challenge is as well, is kind of next week, we're going to be doing a challenge. It's going to happen Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like kind of a 4-day challenge to create the plan of how we're going to put this together. How you're going to achieve your goals over the final quarter of this year. And then we're going to be off and running. On October 1st, we're going to take action. We're going to get these offers set up and together. And most of the time, it's just you don't know how to sell it. You don't know what the offer should be. You don't know how to, attract the right people for this offer. And so we're going to cover all of that here in this last quarter of Corporate Rescue Plan. So I'm excited about that. So the next part of your building out this 3-part framework of creating these evergreen funnels is your email marketing. So email, like I said, is going to be your number one asset. You're going to own your email list where we don't own social media. So I've been doing this for now over 12 years. Um, and when I started, and it was like 2011 when I started my blog, and we used Facebook and Twitter. And I remember everyone on Facebook, I would post on Facebook, and everyone who followed me saw my posts. Same with Twitter. Like everyone who followed me on Twitter saw my posts, and there was not this algorithm thing. There was not this, you're only some of your followers see your posts or any of that. And slowly it's changed over the years. And this is part of being an entrepreneur, by the way, is like you just have to adapt and change your methods and change your promotion strategies and not quit, right? Like you just have to you just keep learning as you go. When things change, you don't complain about it. You just like, okay, here's what we need to do now. But one of the things I've learned is how valuable that email list is. My email list started in about, I think it was 2012, I started my email list. So I blogged a whole year until another entrepreneur. I was doing informational interviews, trying to figure out, what I should do, what my next step should be in my career. And another entrepreneur told me that he actually worked at Instagram, he moved. I don't know if when I talked to him, I don't know if he was working at Instagram, but he eventually started working at Instagram, which is kind of ironic. But he told me I needed to build an email list and start to share content about like helping people with interviews. So I got off that call and I started my email list. I started on MailChimp just to get it started. And have really just realized over these years how valuable, how important it is to have that email list, because your social media could change in a second. Now not all of my followers, I have almost 50,000 followers on Instagram, and not all of them see my posts. Barely all of them, barely a few of them see my posts, I feel like. But I've learned what I need to do to get more people to see those posts, and I've just kind of learned how to adapt. But I know when I send my emails, it's going to send to everyone. It's going to end up in people's inboxes. So I can rely on that. I cannot rely on social media. We all saw TikTok went down, months ago. And so that could go away. You just never know. Instagram could go away. If you're going to build your own business off just a social media platform, you just have to be ready for it to go away. I mean, I know at any time, I know my entire Instagram account could just be taken over by hackers or something. Like I fully realize that could happen someday. It's happened to a lot of people. It could happen to me too, but it's not going to ruin my business. I have an email list. I have, the people that follow me on Instagram. I have the people who want my content are also on my email list. And so email's your number one asset. You really want to set up in your email list system. You want to set up like a welcome series. So people, like I said, it's kind of like that nurture series that builds trust and connection. You want to set up like a sales sequence that guides them into a purchase. You also want to set up nurture emails, which would be kind of like maybe like a weekly newsletter, something on a weekly basis where you're kind of checking in with your email list as well. Maybe you're sharing a story, kind of like I shared my story of going on maternity leave today, like sharing a story, giving some teaching, giving that call to action. And, your list will build your business. It will slowly build your business as the more people that get on your list. Even 100 subscribers can generate revenue with the right sequence. But starting with one is what you need. And then you can kind of set that goal. Let's get one new subscriber a day, and you kind of set that 90 days. It's a good time to set that 90-day goal and see if you can get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. You have over 90 days. And I know the next question is, okay, how do I do this? How do I set up an email list? And so I put the link on this document. Guess who? John is offering free email list launch strategy sessions. If you don't know who that is my husband. And we have been working together, building our email list, building our business since we both quit our job, in 2014. I quit first, and then a couple months later, he quit his day job as well. And so we've been doing this full time, since then. You don't see his face, you don't see him around, but he, is working daily, on our email list and managing that. And we have recently moved, we were on Keep, or what formerly called Infusionsoft. And over this summer, we made our transition over to Kit, formerly called ConvertKit. Now they just call it Kit. And we've been very happily with that. And so, now that we're all set up and we've made that transition ourselves, he's now helping people get set up on Kit as well too, and kind of doing for you guys what he has done for us here at Classy Career Girl. So, and I can recommend John. He says his job title is I do the things you don't I fix things you didn't know it was wrong in ways you don't understand. I think that's what he tells people. So that's who you can have in your back pocket. And we're not putting this out publicly yet. It's still only for, you guys who are in our programs already. So if you are interested, I do recommend booking a call with him because he will have limited spots. I think he's just going to be doing 3 spots he's going to have 3 spots available over the last quarter of the year to help people get, to set up all the things that we're talking about, the automation. His favorite thing to do is automation. And so he would help you get set up on your lead magnet and automate these welcome series and all of the things. But you can ask him your questions too. On that free call, he'll kind of answer your questions and kind of walk you through everything too. So I highly recommend doing that. And then the third part of this as well then is being able to sell your product evergreen, which means all the time, selling on autopilot year round. And that really is the goal, is setting up these digital products that you have so that you can be able to sell them at any time. So examples of these digital products you can sell at any time would be like a course. So like I said, I do live workshops and then turn them into courses afterward and kind of split them into 4 modules and I can sell them afterwards. So that could be kind of like a recorded workshop. You do it once, record it, and then continue selling it. It could be a membership site as well that you can be selling on an ongoing, always basis, day or night, always open. So the mindset here is we build it once and we can sell it many times. And so there are times in our business where we're going to be launching our higher level programs. So like I have, our certification program. We're in a launch right now, right? We're enrolling our fall cohort. So there are times that I'm going to go heavier on my higher level programs and products. And there's going to be these like launch times. But then there's these other times in my business where we're going to be selling these evergreen things. We're just going to have, we've already built out the funnels. We've already built out the products. And so we can focus on our clients, focus on our coaching our clients, but have these other products continually be selling when we're not in launch mode. It doesn't require this like major launch. They're easy, they're light, they're freeing. It's simple. You can do it while you're on vacation. And so that's the example of really having a really good evergreen funnel set up. And this could be same thing, same kind of funnel would be like having your freebie, leading it into your nurture, and then that offer is available at all times. And Evergreen really allows you to step away from these constant launches and still have consistent revenue. So you don't have to always feel like you're always launching or you're always strapped for cash because you have these income sources coming in. And this is really how you scale without burnout. You can work less by, focusing on one funnel, one offer, one audience at a time. And that's what we're going to be doing in the boot camp over the next 90 days here in Corporate Rescue Plan. We're going to focus on one offer, one funnel, kind of getting it all set up so you have that one offer that is running, that is selling. And then you can start to be tracking. You can track, email. Like it's so fun to have the whole funnel set up because then you can start to track it and improve it and modify things and like see where are things working, what is working, what's not working. Like, every week you can kind of look and see, okay, I had this many email signups. I had this many people land on the sales page. I had this many people open my email. I had this many sales or I this many booked calls. And so you can kind of start to track and improve things as you go. And it also protects your time. It also protects, make sure that you're not working 24/7 and that you're having that time freedom and flexibility too. So this whole process, like everything we teach here, doesn't mean you have to do more. It just means that you're going to be focusing on the right things and doing those things consistently and letting go of the rest that's, not going to get you the results that you want. So I'm going to encourage you, to set up a funnel, set up, something that can run automatically, evergreen without you. And then that way you can really have that freedom to focus on the things that are important to you as well. So I have plenty of time for questions here today. I do want to tell you more about the boot camp, so you guys can make sure that you get registered. So I did put this on the document here. The free challenge. So the first thing that you want to try and hit is the free challenge. It's happening next Sunday to Wednesday. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern each of those days, where we're going to create the plan. So and we'll have recordings available as well too. Of course, it's better to be live because you can ask questions, but we're going to set up the plan for your 90 days. We're going to set up the plan for generating, the income streams and, what you want to offer over the last quarter of the year. And I do this because the last quarter of the year is the best quarter of the year. Usually, if you're any sort of coach or consultant, September and December are usually our two best months in business. And so, if you put this offer into place now, you can be selling that over Black Friday. You can be selling that into December. And then, of course, into January as well, too, when people are really focused on change and improving and purchasing, right? We got the holidays and Christmas in there as well, too. So it's called Launch. The free challenge is the Launch 3 Income Streams in 90 days. Like I said, that's where you're going to create your plan. We're going to walk away with, knowing what your coaching offer or consulting offer is going to be, what those income streams are going to be. So we're going to go through that spreadsheet and then give you that 90-day roadmap so you know what you need to do. So that's the first part. Then, because you guys are already in Corporate Rescue Plan, and then the next part is on October 1st, we're going to start the Magic Income Streams Bootcamp over the next 90 days here in Corporate Rescue Plan. So it's going to be a very strategic, step-by-step each week. There's going to be a lot of structure to help you, workbooks, templates, swipe files, to create these income streams. And so my goal is that by the end of December, we have these income streams set up, and that we can celebrate you on New Year's, that you're generating income in these 3 different income streams that is gonna be amazing then, because then you're going to have an incredible 2026. So it's kind of like achieving some goals before the year ends so that we can create even better goals for 2026. And you can kind of have your email list set up, your funnel set up, kind of that foundation of your business set up in Q4, so that 2026 can be like take off. So that's the plan. Does anyone have any questions about setting up? Yes, I will drop the link again. Does anyone have any questions about setting up a funnel, setting up an email list, evergreen, digital products, anything you want to make sure I cover in the bootcamp, and in the challenge that's coming up? You can chat or you can unmute or whatever works. I know you guys all need this, right? Yes. That's awesome. Carrie says, I haven't done it before. I think I need to make sure I have a good enough lead magnet. Yeah, and so one of the things, for your lead magnet, it's we want to solve someone's problem, so we don't want it to be overwhelming, but we want to think, okay, if someone downloaded this in like 10 to 15 minutes, how could we move them forward? How could we get them the result? What are they looking for? And also, like, what are they looking for that they're going to just opt in right away? I need this. I need this now. Think what are the things that would make you be like, oh, let me put in my email real quick. I need this. We know we're going to get emails. We know we're going to get, more emails in our inbox, but we're excited about that. There's something like we need this actually in our lives. So I always think of that. Like what does your audience need? What are they going to opt in for? What do they want right now? Whether it's like, a tip, not a tip, whether it's like um a roadmap. I say roadmap. I know that's what Melanie's going to be doing. A checklist, a template. We used to do resume templates. Those did really well. Obviously, our planner is our best one. But I have a to-do list that does really, really well, like a daily to-do list template. We have like I said, our free 90-day planner. We have our Love Your Work and Life roadmap. And then we have business tools. So these are all like free, PDFs. But I do recommend, I mean, if you can create um, PDFs are great because that's like kind of the quick win that people can get. But what I also recommend is having then a video training that goes along with it as well. So, for instance, we have like our startup kit for career coaches, and that is a video. So it's kind of like it's a pretty long 45-minute webinar that I did. So it's like it's a recorded a webinar replay. You can get it at classycareergirl.com/coach webinar. And so it's a webinar, and then it's a free PDF startup kit, like a PDF that goes along with it too. And then from there, there's an application to apply for certification as well too. So all of that is just kind of, not only are they getting a PDF, but they're also getting free training with me as well too. Angela says, I'm excited for this. I have to run now. Yeah, I'm excited for this too, Angela. I know you guys need this. I know that's why I've been thinking about doing something like this, especially for Q4, and it's going to be perfect timing. Carrie says, I have Thrivecart and Flowdesk. Will a call with your husband still help? Um, if you have questions and you need help, so he would be familiar with Thrivecart. So if you have questions about, anything about Thrivecart, but yeah, usually he's not going to be able to help with Flowdesk. So it would be if you wanted, to move over to Kit, if you were interested in growing on Kit. But yeah, I would probably stick to Flowdesk if you're familiar with that. But yeah, you're welcome to book a call with him if you have questions or if you're considering. But yeah, he's helping people on Kit because that is where he's now an expert at and knows all about, and so he can do that very quickly and easily. And we recommend it. So that was the hard part of where we were before. We couldn't recommend the product to our clients because it was too complicated. So it's been this has been a 5-year journey of like trying to figure out another email system that we could move to, so then we could actually help others as well too and help our clients get set up too. So yeah, it just worked perfectly. In May, we're like, we're gonna do this. Our other system kept raising their price as well too, and which was it, like our old system had like I think doubled their price over the last couple of years for the same thing, and they weren't improving it at all. I mean, we also had a limit on like how many emails we could send every month as well. So we were just kind of getting to the point where we were like, it's going to be awful to make this change, and it was. It was pretty awful. Poor John he do most of the work. I just write the copy, and he, puts it in the system and like makes it work. But and allows me to like focus on what I do best, which is coaching you guys, doing this training. But now with Kit, there's no like limit to emails, which is amazing because so we were getting like extra charges each month to have to send more emails. I mean, it was just crazy. Not only had they doubled the price, but then they like had capped us at how many emails. So we just got to the point where it was like enough is enough. Let's move over. And then we realized like this is a very simple system. It's very affordable. Yeah, it's very affordable to get started. I don't know exactly the details for the beginning plan, but you can go to Kit.com and look up at their pricing points, or if you're interested in moving to Kit, you can book a call with John as well too. I'll put that link in the chat as well. Oopsies, I didn't mean to delete that. Yeah, and you can always email me too if you're watching the replay and you need the link, or just Slack me as well. Um, awesome. Okay. I'm actually going to open it up here and answer your question because this is something that I'm interested in as well. Okay, so this is Kit. Um, so there is a free trial. Are you a robot? No, I'm not. I'm not a robot. Um, I just want your pricing. I just want your initial pricing. So this is the thing. If you book with John, he'll be able to get this information for you. I think it's definitely affordable. And that's the other. Okay, get started. Pricing. This is what I want. Okay. Um, so newsletter, build your audience. Looks like 0 a month, up to 10,000 subscribers for like a basic visual automation, one email sequence, one user. Unlimited landing pages, opt-in forms, email broadcasts, audience tagging and segmentation, selling, email support. So that's pretty nice. I'll have to talk to John and see which one he's recommending for people. Then there's the creator. So let me see if it changes. So it does change if you like do yearly or monthly. So this, if you pay monthly, is $39 a month, up to 1,000 subscribers. And it looks like in this, you'd have like unlimited automations, which is kind of what we're talking about today. I would imagine we're probably recommending this unlimited because automation is all we're talking about today. So if you just wanted to send out a weekly newsletter, it probably sounds like the basic no cost one would be okay. But if you do want to set up what we're talking about today, which is the automated emails, so like someone opts into your email list and then you can automate some emails to them. Someone buys your product, you can automate delivering a video to them or, the fulfillment process. So that's probably what you're looking for. It looks like there is a 14-day free trial, so that's great. And then you can remove the kit branding and all of those things as well. But it looks like you can also just kind of get in there and try the free one too. And is a free 14-day free trial as well too. So, but if you have any questions, book a call with John. He's the expert. And it is pretty easy to figure out too. Like obviously I know how to send an email. I know how, I can look up your name in our email list system. I can edit emails. I can see the automations. It took a little while to because it's very different than the system that we moved from. And so it took a little while to like visually, it is visual, which is why I really like it. But visually see like an automation. So there's like and John can walk you through this on the call. Maybe we should do a call with him. You can visually see kind of the process that someone goes through and they opt in and it sends them emails and then they click, then on a certain date, we can send them other emails. So I kind of understand the kind of layout of everything as well too. So I hope that makes sense, Carrie. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to send over a Slack message. Okay, it did. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, everyone. Well, I will see you guys next time. Remember the free challenge that's happening next week, and then October 1 is starting our 90-day boot camp. So get ready if you want to build those multiple income streams into your business. Q4 is your time. We're going to give you all the training and resources and templates and tools to be able to do that. And I'm excited for you guys. So I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.